Closer to God, Evangelical Presbyterian Church is a Portuguese-speaking church located in Kearny, New Jersey. Among its people, the church has participating Brazilian, Portuguese, American, Mexican, and Dominican members. Worship services have simultaneous translation into English. Closer to God began when a group of brothers and sisters who wanted a Presbyterian church that was more faithful to the Bible and principles of Reformed theology had its first meeting of worship on July 3, 2011. The group was led by Pastor Valdir Reese and under the responsibility of Nearer to God Evangelistic Ministries. The first meeting took place in Newark in a room provisionally assigned by the group by Mantenna Global Care Project. There, they sang the hymn, Nearer My God to Thee, and there began the church, that with the blessing of God grew stronger and stronger every day. The group was organized and Closer to God Evangelical Church was formed. As the initial meeting site was temporary, the church had to look for another spot for the services, and was then for several Sundays, the church held services at the basement of Walnut Baptist Church in Newark. On October of 2011, the church rented the church building of the local Luso-Brazilian Adventist Church, a wider space with the possibility of expanding their ministry and welcoming more people. After a period of discernment and prayer, the church and the pastor, Valdir Reese, were received with much love by the Evangelical Presbyterian Church on April 2012 in Gap, Pennsylvania, through the Presbyterian of the East. Thus, the church came to be called Closer to God Evangelical Presbyterian Church. From there, the church grew, received new members, organized their departments, their finances, and ordained new elders and deacons. The hand of God was upon the church since its beginning. The services were increasing in number, as well as the services at members' homes. There, they experienced moments of constant prayer and communion among the brothers and sisters. Some missionary projects also received and are receiving the support of the church. Among other things, the church helps missionary in Africa, supports people with food and remedies for families in need of the church and of the city. The church also helps out the immigrant community and actively participates in the evangelization of prisoners through the book Prisoners Closer to God, written by the pastor Valdir Reese, who has reached thousands of prisoners in Brazil, United States, and Mexico. Due to the advancement of the church, the dream of buying a church building for themselves arose because the church would have better physical structure to worship God and help people in the community. With the dream in mind, the church prayed, held yard sales, organized dinners, saved money, and even more, sought God's direction for making wise decisions about the future of the church. On April of 2015, the church took a step of faith and decided to purchase a property that had previously belonged to Knox Presbyterian Church, PCUSA, in Kearny, New Jersey, which had closed their doors a few months prior. In addition to being an act of faith, it was a daring act, but with certainty that God was giving this great opportunity to the church. The acquired property has a pastoral house, chapel, and the main sanctuary. The church began restoring the chapel, which required extensive renovations. Many volunteers worked, companies were hired, many supported our cause, and many miracles happened, and renovation was complete. The congregation was faithful in tithes, offerings, and prayers. After about 4 years renting a place of worship, the church now met for the first time in their new worship space on November 2015. With so many challenges still ahead, our mission continues to finish paying for the property and planning the advancement of church in this multicultural context, where thousands of people need to hear about God's love. Before us, there are many ministerial opportunities, including the restoration of the main sanctuary, service to the local population through professional courses, medical care to the population in need, legal assistance, psychological help for families who suffer greatly in this context of immigration, serving the poor and needy through the implementation of the food bank, pastoral care for families in difficulty, helping missionary projects in the Presbytery and EPC, and the planting of new churches in the greater Newark area. To achieve our goals, we need prayers, partnerships with churches, and the power of the Holy Spirit. The vision of the Closer to God that its members and its leaders are faithfully walking with God, working for God, worshiping God. As a church, we want to thank the Presbytery of the East Evangelical Presbyterian Church and the privilege of being part of this church that has been loyal to God. To God be all honor, glory, and worship.